Hi everybody, welcome to Don't Style Taiji Chuan Facebook lessons. I'm going to start with some insights on the stance. There's a lot to the stance and it's very important. It will take a few lessons to go through all of it. So today I'm just going to start with some basics. Okay? So first of all, you can stand straight with the feet shoulder width apart. Okay? So here, it should be about the same when you step forward. So the top and the bottom has the same width. So one way to do that is to, when you stand straight like this, bring your heel inwards. Don't move your toes, so that way you maintain that body width. Okay, the body width starts from the front of the toes to the back, outside of the other foot. Okay, it's not on the inside. You measure from the outside. So from the outside of the shoulders, the hips, and then the feet. So it's about the same width. Okay, so here, this is one way to do it. You turn your heel to about the middle of the other foot. So now it's the toes are about 80 degrees. And then from here, you shift forward. Now your right foot just steps straight. So make sure you step straight, because sometimes people step in or out. Then you're not body width anymore. So from here, if you step straight, put the heel down first, then the toes, relax and sit, and push forward with the back leg and sink into the front. Okay, so you can see here, from the outside of my front foot to the toes of my back foot, it's about the same as my body still. Okay, so it's a very comfortable stance. Here you can take a good size step forward, while you're maintaining good balance on the side. Okay, so if you're too wide, if your stance are too wide, you're more open here, so your stance from the front to back is not as strong. And of course, if you're too narrow like this, the balance is not as good, so your balance side to side is not as strong. Okay, so you need to keep the feet about shoulder width apart, which also means, with a slight channel in between the 2 feet. Step forward. Okay. When you shift forward, in Chinese it's called gong tui, you shift until the knee, front knee, pass your heel, but have to be behind your toes. Okay, but you don't push all the way to the end. From the back sitting position, you push forward. Then when you get to the top of your heel, from this point on, it's about sinking. So the last part of the move is to sink down, so you have more weight and balance in the center. So once the knee reaches the heel or slightly in front of the front heel, you drop. See, as I drop here, naturally the knee continue to go a little bit forward, but make sure it's behind the toes. Okay, so if you go too far, now it's in front of the toes, that means your step is too small. Okay, so you need to take a bigger step, so when you sink, it doesn't go beyond your toes. So how much you sink, it depends on the size of your step too. So if I have a smaller stance, I can't sink as much, because if I sink too much, it will go beyond my toes. So from over my heel, I sink, so the knee goes forward. At this time, I'm also opening up my hip joint. Okay, so my stance are more rounded, like a bow stance. With a medium stance, you can go a little lower, and then a bigger stance, even lower. But always keep the knee behind the toes. Okay, so watch it one time from the side here. Bring the heel in. Pick up the other foot. Step out, put the heel down first and then the toes. As you put the toes down, keep your weight in the back. Okay, this is the hardest point of the move. Here you're really working on your legs, you'll get your legs very strong. I'm still pushing down into the left here, and then when the foot goes down, you push off the ground with the left foot and into the ground, into the front foot. Okay? So you can see it when at the end when I sink, see how rounded here This is opening the hip joint. Okay? So when I open the hip joints, it's opening to both sides. And the energy goes to the thighs, push the thighs out and down into the feet. You can try to feel the energy push. So both sides is rooted, it's very strong. You can move the legs. See? You can shift back and forth, but you keep the roundness. Once you collapse or turn, there's no energy in the back foot, so your stance is not as strong. Okay, so look at it one more time from the front. Okay, this time I'll turn the foot out. So you sink, turn the left toes out, 80 degrees. Pick up your foot, because when you turn the foot out, here in between the 2 feet, you're wider. So you need to bring the other foot about halfway in. So now I'm shoulder width apart. Step straight from there. Put the heel down. Shift forward. And sink at the end. When you pick up your foot and when you step, it's different. In Tai Chi, every move has yin and the yang. So here when I pick up the foot, it's gathering. I lift the knee and the toes point and hook down. Hook back slightly. See here? Knees bend, toes hook to the back. So here it's gathering like in the brush knee and push. The energy here is gathering and here also is gathering. And then when you step out, you put the heel forward. So the toes come back, you push forward with the heel. Extend the heel before you put the heel down. So now what you're doing with the leg, when you hook, you're stretching and also exercising the muscles in the front. The top part here and the front part here. Okay? And then when you step, you bend the toes back and push the heel forward. You're stretching and exercising the back of the leg. So this is very important. You might not feel it in the form, but if you just stand here and do this a few times, bend and extend slowly, bend and extend, use some energy here, you'll feel it in the muscles. It's actually hard work. You're really working your muscles. Okay, just one more thing about the width and the toes. When you step out like this, your toes actually should look slightly inside. You want to make sure the outside of the foot, the outer edge is straight. Okay, so not the toes are straight, because sometimes the people's foot is a little rounded. So if the toes are straight, you're actually this part, the thighs are going outwards. Once you go out, your stance is not that strong anymore. So make sure your toes are slightly inward and the outside part of your heel is straight. Okay, so same thing with the back foot. So sometimes everybody's feet, the shape's a little different. So sometimes if your toes are straight, the outer edge of your foot is actually out. So you want to make sure that outer edge of your foot is slightly inwards. Not 90 degrees, more 80 degrees. Okay? So again, when you do that, you open up the hip joint. And if you go outside, I'm going this way, you can see I get off balance very easily. Okay, so that's the first lesson on the stance. We'll continue in the lesson number 2, talk more about the stance. Thank you.